Hello, I'm Bob Holub, and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of the Holub Project. If you haven't been with us before, I invite you to grab a cold snack of your choice, sit down on the couch, and relax. If you have, I'd like to thank you for coming back for another episode. And today, we're going to go ahead and buff out the paint on this 86 Trans Am. You can follow along on the bottom of the screen what chemicals that we're going to use today. And while you're viewing that, let's go down here and look at our canvas for this afternoon. We've got some really dry, nice black paint. It's got multiple cracks in it everywhere. It's got a bunch of oddities in it. So we're not going to cover it with anything except for the polishes and the compounds that we're going to use today. So let's get started. Let's go right up in here and we'll start out back here where we left off. And we'll just start going around the car, getting her buffed out. We've got our Torx Random Orbital Polisher here, the old Amazon special. Basically that just means that it doesn't just spin in a circle. It has an orbital pattern as well. And that helps reduce swirl marks and whatnot. We've got our pad here for medium to heavy cutting. Got our conditioner. Give the pad a squirt. You want to keep it moist. For most of this, we're going to use the fine cut cleaner from Meguiar's. If we get any really heavy stuff, we might try the V34. We'll just kind of see how it goes here. Put a little bit on here. Make sure to shake it first. We already did. And we're going to use not too high of a speed. This goes up to 4,200 RPM. But we won't get too crazy with the cutting compound. You can see how fast the paint's sucking that compound in. Very, very dry. And you want to be careful too, you don't want to get this paint hot. That will be the killer. I'm not a professional buffer, as I said. If you haven't seen the original video of this car from last week, go back and check that out. We got it running. We do have some more work to do to make it run tip top. But for now, we're going to get this paint cleaned up. So that's just the compound. As you can see, it brightened it up quite a bit. But there's still a lot of cracking in it, which we're not obviously going to be able to get out. But we can definitely improve how this car looks dramatically with a little time and a little elbow grease. So I'm going to go through and hit this with the first stage here. We're just going to try this out, see how it goes. Some of this other stuff, like I said, might be a little too deep. We might try the V34 just to see how it reacts to that. But this paint is old, very brittle, and we don't want to burn it. So I'm going to rip on this, and we'll be back here. I'll keep you updated. It's coming along. You can definitely tell where we stopped here. But it's looking better. She's bringing out all the dents, A nice little crease across there. Not bad though. Keep at her. You can see right here, hopefully. Yeah, see this? That is, Tom told me it was somebody dumped a fryer or something on top of it. I don't know if you can see the streak coming down and this one here, but I think we can probably get that out. We'll try here, but look at the difference already just with compound. This paint's really dry, so I'm using a lot of pad conditioner, keeping it wet. So it's coming along. I gotta get, you know, inside the little vents and stuff like that, but it looks good on camera, but it's still a little rough. She's coming along though. We'll keep at it. You can still see probably in here how dull it still is. You can probably tell, I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but that area in the last video, I did all the stages on this, and you can see the line right here where this is just compound. But this is a lot deeper black. And those cracks are not quite as visible. You can definitely see them up here a lot better. Good example of how dry this paint is. I don't know how much of it you can see. But she is in rough shape. See all that? It's almost like whatever clear coat was used, unless that's overspray. Can you see that? Is that a tape line? All the way up it, and all this was overspray at one point. I didn't realize it, but Tom did say that this has been in and been painted because somebody keyed it. So I don't know if they just used really bad product. And he said it happened a week after he bought it, so I'm guessing it was in 1986. So that would be the same age paint. It's got a little shine on it, obviously, versus this, but boy, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. While we're making progress for you Canadians out there, front end's done. Madison approves. The hood's as good as I can get it with compound anyhow. This whole side of the car is done. It's gonna have some shine. This is gonna be one of those units that passes you on the highway and you're like, woo! Give them the old nod of approval. And you know, she's gonna be a good looking unit. But she's gonna have her flaws, which is fine. Whoa! It's not a new one. So we gotta do this side here. I started on the other side because the lighting in this side of the shop's not worth crap. I'm really curious what happens with this here. But anywho, she's coming along. I'll report back when we're done with the compound, and we'll go from there. We'll start in with the ultra fine whatever stuff, and see if maybe that helps a little bit, and then we're gonna keep on rolling. All right, well, night one complete. That took forever. Got all the compounding done. How long did it take us? Let's see, what time is it? Whew, about 4 hours. But here's our result. This one is ready to go. Lot of work left to do. But overall, it's coming along. I mean, it's got some shine on it. It's got a lot of really bad paint. But she's looking better. And down this side, here's that line. We couldn't figure out what it is. I mean, you can still see it. See it running along here. It took a little bit of it. Well, I guess I shouldn't say it took it out, but it helped clean it up. Some paint chips and whatnot here and there, and decals like we've seen in the first video. Got a lot of work to do on the glass, but it took out quite a bit. So anyway, that's gonna wrap up tonight, and we will be back down tomorrow night and keep going. I think tomorrow night we're gonna get, if the dog would get the hell out of my way, we're gonna go with the V38 optical grade final polish, and see how that does. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, well, we're back. It's the next day. I'll try to refrain from starting today off with another Bob Ross intro. So where we're gonna start today, I want to do this out of curiosity's sake. Mother's Back to Black trim and plastic restorer. We're going to hit the wing back here with it and just see what it does. And one of the subscribers left a really awesome comment about why these crack like this, and you know, what caused it and how to remedy it, which you can't other than buying a new spoiler. But I think this spoiler was actually introduced in 1986. So yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna bore you with all the details. Let's put some of this on here and see what we get. I don't think I've ever actually used this. It's probably not open. Nope, not open. All right. Jesus, Madison, scared me half to death. Shut your pie hole. Well, so far, it's making it black. The ultimate test, though, is what it's like when it dries. Will you shut up? I think that when it dries is where our issue is going to be. But I wanted to see if it gets some of this, I don't know what it is, staining, water spots. It appears like it's taking some of it out. I don't know if you guys can see the marks. Those won't come out. Put a liberal amount on here. And just kind of rub it in, see what we get. So anyway, we'll let that soak. And while that's doing that, we'll come right up in here and talk about what we're going to use today. We've got our finishing pad on V38 final polish. I'm kind of debating on what I should do here. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it. This is not a paid sponsorship or anything, but this is a kit that you get from Amazon. It's Chemical Guys kit, and they've got V38, 36, 34, and 32. So the lower the number, the heavier the cutting ability is. So 32 would be the most aggressive, and then work your way up to the finishing polish of 38. I was tempted to hit it with 36 and then go to 38, and it comes with the different pads. Like, this is light to medium polish, this is the medium to heavy cut, this is what we used yesterday. I cleaned it last night. And it does come with the conditioner spray bottle, and then a cleaning spray for the pads, and it comes with the Torx polisher that we're using. It's all one kit, and I believe this is actually like a Chemical Guys designed polisher. So it comes with the pads, the polisher, the conditioner, the pad cleaner, and then the 4 bottles of their polish. All right, so that's drying, and we'll go over here and we'll grab another cloth. Well, that seems to have done more than the first time. Maybe if we hit it with a couple rounds of that, it'll bring it back. So, and we'll probably bounce back and forth. We'll hit it with the towel, let it soak, do some buffing on the car, come back, wipe it down, and then you know, rinse and repeat. All right, so I made the decision to hit it with the V36 first before I go to the polish. And I did that from here, this whole panel. And then I also did the ceramic wax on top of that. So this is what the finished product will look like. And that looks dang good to me. So this whole quarter panel, I've already hit with the V36, and this door over, and you probably can't see it on camera, but right here is where I stopped, and it looks completely different. It's a lot blacker than obviously just the compound. But I think once we hit the V36 on here and then go to the V38 and then finish it with that wax up there, the ceramic wax, it's gonna be as good as it can be with the condition of the paint. But it's definitely cleaning up, and it ain't gonna be a show car, but it will look nice. So we're gonna keep on rolling, and I'm gonna put the tunes on here. Might be able to see it now that I did the hood, the difference between the compound and our next phase of the compound, the lighter grit. This whole side's been done with the V36. This was all V34 here. You can see the color's different. It really brings out the deeper black versus just the cutting, which is obvious. I mean, that's how it's going to be, but what we started with, it's looking pretty good. You can still see all the cracks and stuff, but it almost looks like it just has, you know, a lot of spackle in the paint. Anyway, let's keep rolling. All right, well, there she is. Not her. Her. That is the V38. Nope, sorry, V36. Which, Jesus, like I said earlier, is the light to medium cutting polish. So next, we are moving on to V38, final polish. And I tell you what a difference this car's transforming into. Transforming, Trans Am, you know, it's the Transformer. She's coming along. I've got my herding dog herding me as slowly as she can. As for the spoiler, it's not doing too bad. I mean, it's glossed up a little bit, question mark? I don't know. We'll do a couple more coats of that and see. And as for this weird scratch thing along this side, you can still obviously see it. There's nothing you're going to be able to do about that, but it's slowly fading away. To the camera anyway. To the naked eye when you're standing here, you can see it from certain angles. Same with all the cracks in the paint. You can't see them from certain angles. But if you get right on, get the light in a certain direction, yeah, they're there. So I'm guessing it probably is going to look really nice in the shop here, and then we're going to roll it out into the sun, and might be a different story, but we'll see. Anyway, on to the V38 final polish. Get our finishing pad out here. Don't let me forget to wash this other one that I just used, because it's pretty full. Final polish pad, V38. Let's go for it. Little dab will do you here. Toss some of that on. Take one of Madison's hairs out of there. And let's go right up in here. Maybe we can make a happy little tree up here. And we'll get out a new towel. We'll hit it with the old orange here. So I'm not running this at full speed either. I've got it going quicker, but it is not at full bore. That's about as good as you're gonna get this old paint. We'll throw that wax on it after. It looks really, really good on camera. It looks good in person, but you know, it's like I said, it still has the cracks and stuff in it, but you can see a reflection in it now, which is, you know, a big step over what it was when we first pulled it into the shop. And again, even with this stage, you can see a line right here in person. You probably can't on camera, but it's another stage darker black. So probably just gonna crank the tunes and hit this last coat before we do the wax, and I'll bring you back once we get to that step. All right, well, that will conclude night number 2, buffing on the old Trans Am. Tomorrow night we'll come down and we'll hit it with the ceramic wax. And I thought about doing it tonight and letting it set overnight, but I don't know if you're supposed to actually let it set that long. But anyway, here she is. As I said, you can still see some of the cracking and stuff in the paint, but she's coming along. From what this car started as to now, believe you me. Here's the hood, what the cracks look like there, with the polish and everything on them now. Front bumper cleaned up pretty good. Got a lot of its gloss back. But yeah, looking good. I don't know what we're gonna do about these wheels. I don't know. Anywho, that's it for tonight. See you tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. Time to hit it with the ceramic wax for the final step. Got the shop doors open today. It's like 45 degrees out. Beautiful. Maybe when we're done, I'll pull this out and have a look at it in the sun. Not sure yet. But anyway, let's get rolling with this. This particular item, you wax her on, let it set for 5 minutes or so, wipe her off. It does not dry to a haze, so you just got to make sure when you put it on that you get good coverage. We'll just start right back in here. Hopefully it's warm enough to where it won't affect it a whole lot. Otherwise I gotta shut the doors and turn on the heat. I don't want to do that because it's nice out. Puppies outside having fun out there. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna knock this out. We'll let it set, wipe her down, and see what we end up with. All right, well, I think we are pretty much done. Should we take a look? Bam. There she is. Turned out pretty good. Cleaned up the glass a little bit. And then I hit up the interior, wiped it down, gave it a vacuum quick. It's beautiful. So it looks pretty good for a 38-year-old paint job. Even though it's a repaint, it's still 38 years old. Oh. Anywho, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. I think I have one more video on this car. I have to do the intake. It's sucking air pretty good through the intake, and that thick carb base gasket is pulling air through that too. I'm not exactly sure why, but I think we'll do a video on that, get it running the way that it should be, so we can take it for a ride, and then probably be time to give it back to Tom. So if you like the videos on the Trans Am, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. You know, it's kind of a neat story behind the car. It's a neat car. It's been awesome doing some work on it. So hit us up with a subscribe. Click the like button. It helps out with the algorithm or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you in the next one.